Oh,
Mike and Lebs. What's
chills.
up, Lebs?
Oof, chills, chills. It's here. It's upon us.
The Champions League. The crowned
Oh,
to be crowned the kings of Europe.
mm, And this year we've got an incredible story. A true underdog, Real Madrid, coming
Man,
coming from the depths of back-to-back championships.
isn't that what that's
Like,
what Liverpool wants? They're like, please call us the underdog. We want to be
oh
called the
yeah,
underdog. Bring it.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
feeding off of that.
Man, how pumped are you? How do you feel?
How do I feel? Like it feels surreal. It doesn't feel real. I'm studying for finals in school. Next week is finals and I'm done after that. Can't think about school, can't study. Just thinking
Oh,
about this unreal moment and journey and just to even be playing in it, like the potential to win it and be the champions, it doesn't actually make sense.
at the beginning of the season, I mean, what percent chance did you think there was going to be that you guys would be in the final?
No.
Like zero?
I just wouldn't even like I never even had that conversation in my head. If you asked me, I would say no, maybe 15%. Maybe. I have no idea.
15.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, no, that's high. I mean, if you would ask me at the beginning of the year, what's the chance that Liverpool's in the Champions League final? I would have said less than five, probably.
It's just not
Definitely
even
less
like
than
a
10.
yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. It really is crazy. The season you guys have had is amazing. At least in this particular competition, you know. So, man, when I should have asked you this before we got on, but being the Liverpool scholar, sure you know this. When was the last time you guys were in the Champions League final? Like, how long has it been?
They lost the Champions League final to Milan in 2007.
Okay, so it's been 10 years now, 11 years.
11 years, yeah. And
Wow.
so they won it in 2005 against Milan and then lost it in 2007 against Milan.
Yeah, man. So 11 years, you're back. You got another shot at it. Oh, it's crazy.
It's a different,
So,
yeah, and it's a totally different team and a style of play. And
yeah.
Benitez is coming out this week, and he's saying, I mean, like it's totally tried. It doesn't matter. But he's saying that this team is better than the one that won the '05 final. But the one that won the '05 final was an underdog of the competition. It was surprising when they did win it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of yeah.
Man, it's craziness. So, I'm just to let everybody know, I'm over here. I'm in Europe right now. I'm actually at this very moment at a bed and breakfast in Italy, in right outside of Venice, with my wife. Just graduated from optometry school 3 weeks ago, and my wife and I have been on basically our honeymoon. And we started off in Amsterdam and went down into Belgium and then into Paris for 5 days. And then we went down into the Loire Valley area just south of Paris for a couple days, and then got on a train and went all the way down to the very southern part of France, down to around the area of Lyon and Nice, there in the Rhone Valley in the French Riviera. And I was really hoping I've worn almost nothing but Manchester City jerseys every day, and I've been trying to talk football with anybody and everybody that I can, and it's just amazing. The French mainly. We just got into Italy yesterday, and but the French were so apathetic about football, and it was disheartening. Really, like went in to try to watch the FA Cup final, and we were in the city of Nice, and I couldn't find anywhere to watch it. Like I looked up as many like Irish pubs as I could, hoping that they would have it on. And I went into one of them, and then I called another one, and both of them were showing the Bundesliga, like a Bundesliga Cup final instead of the FA Cup final, and it was Bayern versus. Yeah, you and I talked about this. Who was it? Bayern versus who? In that final that Bayern ended up losing that we were talking about the other day.
Chelsea.
No. The Bundesliga Cup final.
Oh, I'm sorry. Eintracht Frankfurt. Sorry, Eintracht
Yeah,
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt. Yeah. How did Bayern end up losing? Because like I walked in and I was like, oh, I don't even care to watch this game. My wife didn't want to she was going to watch it if it was Chelsea versus United in the FA Cup. She was like, yeah, I'm down. But it was Bayern and Frankfurt, and so she's like, I don't care about this game. And I'm like, I don't really either. Bayern's going to smash this, so let's get out of here. And then Bayern ended up losing, which you were talking about it, and it was like, tell me,
like,
what were you saying about the end of the game?
So here's all the storylines. So Bayern, Hinkies, the Bayern's coach, 70-something-year-old man, like he's just kind of done.
Yeah.
And he's retiring, so Bayern has to get a new coach, and it's this guy. It's Kovac. He's going to be the new coach of Bayern Munich, and he is coaching the team that Bayern are playing. So they're playing in the Pokal Cup final, Bayern and Eintracht. It's in Frankfurt. I was saying that wrong. I'm sorry. Someone's going to kill me. Eintracht. Yeah, so they're playing in this match. It's his farewell. He's already been a very successful coach for Eintracht, and he's kind of moving on to his next thing. They finished 8th in the Bundesliga. Historically, I don't know how good this club is. So anyways, like you said, it's Bayern. They dominate. I don't know how many Bundesliga titles they've won in a row. Many. So Eintracht scored first. Bayern shot back. And then Bayern just had a lot of chances. They weren't really putting them away. Eintracht scored another goal. They were up 2-1. Fast forward to like the 89th minute. And it looked like a penalty, but can't remember who was tackled. But a Bayern player was tackled in the box and they video reviewed it, and the referee did not say pen. I thought it was a pen. So on the ensuing corner, everyone's up. Goalkeeper, everyone's up for Bayern. And mind you, Eintracht, let me look this up right now. The last time it had been like 50 years since they had won a trophy. Any kind of trophy. So, corner's taken, ball is bounced out, and then next thing you know, last player for Eintracht. God, I'm saying that wrong. I'm so sorry, all of our German listeners. None of you. But I'm so sorry. All 7 of you. This player's running free, and there's no goalie or anything. He's got like 5 yards on the nearest Bayern defender. And the whole sub squad, the reserves, everyone is chasing him down the sideline, just running, and fans are pouring onto the sideline. Like, they just know he's going to score, and they kicks it in, and it just goes nuts. And then
Wow.
And then the next thing you see, these videos online, there's like 50,000 people that meet in the square of Frankfurt, and they're like dancing, singing, and I'm like, man, this is what football's about. And then, Bayern Munich, like there's this tradition, you stay and you wait and you watch the other team get their first place medals. Like they like left the field and,
Yeah.
like they're just
I saw that.
what? Anyways, they take it for granted. I can't think of the word.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
How did you watched the game? Like,
No. I heard about it and I went back and I watched all the highlights and I kind of got like the little storylines. I have been paying attention to their to the new coach coming in. And a lot of people are hesitant. And like this is what Bayern does. They had Hinkies and he won the treble, and then Pep came in, and then Pep left. And then they had Ancelotti, and then he's gone. Then Hinkies has come back. I think it's the third time the guy's coached the club. So they've got this new sort of unproven manager. I mean, we're talking about a European giant coming in.
Right.
And like Gerd Muller, Thomas Muller, they all signed this card for him, and he wrote on there, "See you in October." Like, get ready, we're gonna fire our coach again. So it's kind of
funny. That's what the "See you in October" thing was. Yeah. I did not get it. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, because he's like, yeah, we're gonna fire our next coach. That's just what we do.
That's hysterical.
So
very cool.
Yeah.
And then while we're on Bayern, we're gonna talk about other stuff. But I thought this was hysterical. Did you see the thing with the PSG midfielder? What is his name? Rabiot? Is that how you say it? The French midfielder. And dude, he's a punk, man. He really is. I never liked him, and this is just so classic for the French national team, right? There's always got to be some sort of drama.
World Cup, they're forming a mutiny against their coach. I mean, yes.
Yeah. And he's like, oh no, I won't be on the reserves. He sends an email or whatever, take me out. And then did you see where like Frank Ribery? Yes, dude. So funny, man. Frank Ribery's like, I heard there's a spot. He like tweeted, I heard there's a reserve spot open. Somebody sign me up. Oh man. So funny, dude.
Yeah, he's making a fool of him because it's an honor. It's an honor to play for your country, and like,
dude.
Yeah.
Anyone should kill for a spot on this French team. Are you kidding me? I mean, Oh my gosh, dude! I'm really looking forward to all the World Cup preview shows that we're going to be doing. So to you people, to our listeners, to the footy fans out there listening to this, get excited. We're super excited. As soon as I get back from this trip, and Mike will be done with finals. We'll be laying down a bunch of pods in a row. And I know we've been gone for a while, but just life's been crazy. But man, we're going to be doing a bunch of World Cup preview pods and going through like the big squads: France, Brazil, Germany, Argentina, Spain. Oh, dude, Italy. By the way, the people here are so salty about not being in the World Cup, dude. I've already had like 3 people mention it to me. I feel kind of bad for them, but anyway. We Americans know how that feels, I guess. But, I mean, well, not really, not compared to them. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, exactly. But looking forward to all the preview pods we're going to be doing and looking forward to talking about this French team, dude. They are just absolutely ridiculous. If they don't do well in the World Cup, I mean, the French people are going to lose their minds. It's going to be insane.
Yeah, what's the excuse,
but
man?
anyway,
it's up there. It's stacked. It's as stacked as Brazil for me.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe more. I think it's the most stacked team. It's them and Germany, in my opinion, for the most stacked squads. Brazil's good, but they're lacking in some areas. But anyway, we're totally digressing. I'm looking forward to getting into those.
Yeah, the only thing that France has that Germany just doesn't have the same for me is striker.
Right. Yeah.
France has some killer strikers, and that's not even bringing in Benzema. Benzema doesn't. He retired.
Right.
Which is just another little story about France. He got excluded from he did not play in the Euro final, I think, I can't remember what year it was, and he basically called the coach racist.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. So, all right, let's do what we normally do and take a look at how the table ended up. Oh, I gotta tell this story real quick as far as the table ending up. Obviously, everyone knows Manchester City champions. Possibly, tell me what you think about this. Do you think with Man City scoring 100 points on the last day of the season, breaking all the records, yada yada, I mean, there's a really, really big argument now for best Premier League and top flight side in history, like of all time. And there's a lot of City fans saying that now. And I do think from the City perspective, it's justified because of the records, highest number of points scored, most goals scored, largest goal differential, largest number of points between us and second place, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think there's a really easy argument there for saying it's the best Premier League, best top flight side of all time, the best single season of all time. And then, of course, the Invincibles on the other side, there's a lot of argument for them. But I do, in my opinion, scoring 100 points with as many means you got a lot more wins, and I think that can be seen as a lot more impressive than a lot of draws. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, totally. I get what you're saying. Like, you're directly comparing to like the Invincibles not losing a game,
right?
Versus you guys who lost maybe.
We lost to you. We lost to you guys in the league one time. And then we lost to you guys twice we only lost a couple times all year. We lost to United in the league and you guys in the league, and that's it. We only had 2 losses.
Yeah.
2 games in the league. Yeah, all year. Yeah. It's crazy.
I think it's more about, and this is the arguments, and I don't know the answer. And I get your point at the end when you say, I'm talking about also in a single season. Because like what the arguments pundits like to say is, well, Manchester United was actually the greatest team because they did it X amount of years in a row. And it's like, well,
right.
How can I make that comparison right now? I don't know. I've never seen a Premier League team so dominant. And this includes whenever Mancini came and you guys were like beating Manchester United like 6-2 and stuff like that. Like City like really burst out on the scene. Gosh, I don't know. Are you saying that I have to answer?
I mean, you don't have to answer, but I wanted to hear your thoughts. I mean, because there's no right answer. I think for a really long, I'm just so happy that Gabriel Jesus scored that
Dude, at the end,
that winner, man. Oh my gosh.
So much, like the league was wrapped up, but it mattered.
Yeah.
To the players, everyone.
Oh, the way the coaching staff and the players celebrated it there at the end. I mean, City fans are comparing it to the Aguero 93-20 moment because it was 93-01 is when Gabby scored, and so and he ripped his shirt off, and I mean there's a lot of comparisons to that 93-20 moment for Aguero. So for the fans, I mean it was incredible.
I still
And
think
again,
that moment was like the greatest in Premier League, though.
oh
Like,
yeah,
but I mean, like, yeah,
yeah, but I mean
like the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life.
all
Maybe.
all year the City fans, I've heard it in a bunch of places, not all year, but recently since the league has been wrapped up or close to being wrapped up, they've been talking about how do we ever have another moment that's similar to that 93-20 moment.
Right.
And a lot of fans were saying, well, when we beat United to clinch the league, that will feel almost as good. And then of course United ended up coming back in the second half and beating us. So then it was like, oh well, obviously there goes that. But this was a nice surprise. It was almost like it was better to win it that way with like a last second winner than to win it 5-0 in Coastal game, because it gave you that right. It gave you a moment. And Gabriel Jesus he's been good, and the City fans really like him, but he has not cemented himself as a part of this team, and he has not cemented. The fans haven't truly gotten behind him yet the way that I think they will, and that I think he wants. And boy, that was a big moment for him, and that was just incredible control with he's pretty right-footed, and the fact that ball over the top from KDB, like a 50-60 yard, over the top lob through ball, and he brings it down one touch with his left foot and then one touch with his right foot to chip the keeper like that. Like it was pretty sweet. The worst part of it was that I was in what I was told online on Reddit was like the best English soccer pub in Paris at the time to watch this game, and it was just so dead, dude. There was nobody there. They didn't even have the sound on for the games. It was terrible. Like, I don't know if I've just been super spoiled at Celtic Crossing in Memphis, where the atmosphere is like pretty freaking fantastic for a lot of the games, but man, I was really disappointed. I was hoping to go there and have like a really good football pub, European pub experience, and it definitely wasn't that. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be out in the middle of the boondocks when the Champions League final happens. And I know there will be people watching it, so I'll put it on the Mike and Lebs Instagram and stuff. But, man, I would kill for that European football experience, for this Champions League final.
I wonder how much of it has to do with Marseille just losing the Europa League final, if they were just out of soccer, just kind of done.
So did you watch that game?
That's a little
dude. I watched the whole thing in Paris, and it wasn't even close. It was not even close. At any point, Atletico completely dominated them. Marseille just didn't look up for the occasion. They were sloppy. The first goal was the epitome of the whole game, where the keeper just tries to pass it out, just one simple pass. He made a pass that he shouldn't have to a center back that was under pressure, from the high press of Atletico.
Right.
But dude, Griezmann, oh my gosh, man, just so ice cold. He was.
Man.
Oh, dude, he was an absolute assassin. Just knife in the ribs, dagger in the ribs to Olympique Marseille from the very beginning. So, I know you and I were talking to Dr. Franks, shout out Russell Franks, on text message the other day about him possibly going to Barcelona. And then, you and I are on Reddit a lot, but do you think he'll actually go? Because I've seen, how the, rumor mill, the football transfer rumor mill is at this point. I've seen stuff saying that he's not going to go. I've seen stuff of that he is going to go. What's your gut tell you?
It's coming out that he has said he's not going to go. He hasn't said it publicly, but he stayed with Atletico when they had a transfer ban, and he could have left. So,
right.
If I had to say, I don't think he's going to go, based on what I've read and what I've seen from him historically, and then winning Europa League final.
Yeah.
Do you think? Go ahead.
By the way, I actually, my gut tells me he's not going to go also.
Mm-hmm.
But we may be naive because the lure of Barcelona is strong, And he would be amazing in that team. Oh my gosh, dude. It'd be scary. It'd be really frightening.
Do you think there's a point to saying that? So most of the time, the team that wins the Europa Leagues is one of the teams that gets knocked out in the group stage of the Champions League. Do you think there's any merit to the statement that only teams that are in the Europa League should be able to win it? Like, stop putting Champions League teams in there. Like Atletico got knocked out.
Yeah.
For third place because it kind of like Atletico were just like the best of the bunch at that point. Whenever like a team, something about the romanticism of like Marseille making it into the Champions League from winning it or something like that. Or a smaller club like Arsenal that was playing in the Europa League.
Am I breaking up? Am I breaking up to you? You're breaking up real bad. Yeah. Can you hear me? By the way,
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Like breaking up real bad.
Hello?
Yeah, you were breaking up, but can you hear me right now?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, dude, I totally agree with what you're saying. Like the fact that Atletico underperformed, basically got knocked down into Europa League, and then we're basically able to like kind of stroll through the competition. And I mean, they were just so much better than Marseille. So yeah, I mean, I do think I completely agree with you. Like this whole thing of a Champions League team getting knocked down into the Europa League and then them basically being able to kind of stroll through it. I mean, yeah, I don't like it at all. It reminds me of last year. Did you watch the Europa final last year where United played? Who did they play? Who did they beat last year? I watched it, and it was a terrible game. Not only because United won, but because the other team it was Basel, however you say it. FC Basel. Mike, you there? Can you hear me?
Ajax. It was Ajax.
It was Ajax. Dude, they just didn't show up. Like, they didn't look like they were there to play or they were scared of United or something. But anyway, I digress. But it's just like, for me, both the last 2 years, both United winning Europa and then Atletico winning Europa, you're sitting there looking at it going, why are these teams even in this competition?
Right.
I mean, United were there because they sucked in the league so bad that's where they had to be. But, it just, it's not – it doesn't seem fair, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So – dude, let's talk about the teams that went down. Well, first off, top four. I know there was some fear. There was a little shuffling in top four, kind of there at the end. There was possibility of like Spurs getting second place, and then you guys getting second place, and then there was worry that Chelsea was going to pop up and take that fourth spot away from you guys. But I mean, it all kind of worked out. I mean, there was a little bit of drama, but I didn't think it was ever really that much in doubt. Like, were you really that worried?
I was worried until Chelsea drew Huddersfield in the second to last game, and that made it to where if we won or drew, we would go through, and Chelsea would also have to win. But then I was like, you know what? So we win on the last day and we go through. If we don't beat Brighton on the last day, like, we really don't deserve it. So by the last day, I wasn't worried, and it was like a great celebration of what Liverpool is on the last day. So.
Dude, just like last year, you guys had to win. I remember me and Nate Detterman were in Kansas City and went to an incredible. Yeah, that was a great game last year. When you guys had to win that game in order to secure fourth place, and I remember watching that. That was fun. So, yeah, I love when it always comes down to the last day. There's got to be something on the line at the last day. That's what makes the Premier League great, I think, in a lot of ways. So we ended up City, United, Spurs, Liverpool, which is the way it's set for many weeks now. Chelsea, 5 points behind Liverpool. Arsenal, 7. Burnley with a seventh place finish, which is just really, really impressive. I understand why, there was some conversation about Sean Dyche being in the talk for Coach of the Year. And I get that conversation, but obviously if you don't give it to Pep Guardiola and the Centurions, I mean, it's ridiculous. So I'm glad that worked out. Everton at 8, Leicester at 9, Newcastle, Crystal Palace. By the way, Crystal Palace managed to stay up. Shout out to a listener of the show and a friend of mine, Logan Michael, fan of Crystal Palace. Looking forward to having him on the show at some point. So he was happy they stayed up. Bournemouth, West Ham, Watford, Brighton, Huddersfield managed to stay up, and so out of the teams that came up last year, Brighton, all three of them stayed up, right? Because it was Brighton and Huddersfield, and what was the other team and Newcastle, and all three of them stayed up. So that's impressive.
They gave out Coach of the Year. Did you say that?
Yeah, I saw that Pep got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I could be wrong.
No. I just hadn't heard it. I believe you.
Hang on, I'm double checking. Premier League Coach of the Year. Yeah, currently held by Pep Guardiola.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It was equal for me, Pep or Rafael Benitez, but totally get why Pep got it. Especially breaking the records and stuff. But I mean, Benitez took this Newcastle club up, and at the beginning of the year, everyone had them relegated, and basically they were a championship side, and they finished 10th place, which is insane. And he's basically said, "I will stay if Mike Ashley will match what we want going in the future." I think it'll be interesting. I think with Benitez, Newcastle could be a upper half of the table club if they get get proper players and stuff in.
Yeah, so let's talk about. Well, let's finish going down the table. So big ups to the teams that managed to stay up, that came up last year. I think a lot of people had Brighton slated to go down. Brighton and Huddersfield slated to go back down this year. And I like that manager for Huddersfield, who's good buddies with Klopp. And so I'm excited to see Huddersfield stay up.
Yeah, I didn't think they would score enough goals, but they have a good defense. I just didn't think they'd score enough goals.
They scored the least. They tied with Swansea with 28 goals, the least goals scored in the entire league. So yeah, you're right, but they kind of got away with it. So Swansea, Stoke, and West Brom all going down, which I'm fine with. It's interesting. I think we talked about this last time. I love Shaqiri on Stoke, so we'll see if he gets snagged by anybody or if he stays with Stoke. But I mean, I'm fine with those teams going down. I don't particularly have any love in my heart for any of those teams. I don't have anything super against them either, other than there's some pretty dirty players on West Brom, or at least they seen them try to break a few ankles in my time. But
yeah, they're garbage, man.
Yeah. And we were trying to have your buddy Grant on the show, who is a Fulham fan. Shout out to Grant. I hope to have him on soon. But so who do we have coming up from the championship that we've already confirmed, the top two? It's Wolverhampton.
Wolves. Yeah.
Yep. Wolves are coming up, and
Cardiff.
Cardiff. Yeah. And then they'll have that playoff to see who the third one is.
Saturday before the Champions League final. Yep.
Saturday. Well, I mean, the same day of the Champions League final?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So, yeah, I'll have to keep an eye on that this Saturday then. See who makes it up.
Incredible game. It's Fulham and Aston Villa. John Terry captaining Aston Villa.
Wow. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be definitely interesting to watch. So let's talk about the coaching changes that we've seen, and let's start at the top with Chelsea. Actually, well, so let's start at Spurs. Poch just inked a new deal today. Did you see that?
Yeah, good for them. That's he's everything.
Yeah.
We talked about that. Lose Kane or Poch, you would lose Kane. Pochettino's so important to that club.
Yep. And Harrison, who was on the show recently, was texting a group that I'm in with him. And he was, excited about it, obviously. And he was saying that Daniel Levy, the general manager for Spurs, stated, this is what the article said, that Daniel Levy was stating that the Spurs apparently are going to really spend a bunch of money this year to try to bring in some more talent. So I thought that was interesting. I'm not saying that I don't believe it. I'm just saying I'll really believe it when I see it, Mm-hmm. And of course, I had to troll him a little bit, and I said, "Oh wow, how much are Real Madrid paying for Kane?" Because they have money to spend,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll see though. I mean, I'm sure Kane probably isn't going anywhere, but we will see. So Chelsea, we'll see if Conte stays. I will be shocked. I think he's already got both feet and most of his body out the door over at Chelsea.
It's just
So
they can't keep a manager.
It's tough. It must be tough managing there for some reason. I mean, maybe the front office isn't helpful, or maybe they just see managers as dispensable. That's got to be what it is.
They don't like giving that control up, and like a lot of people liken Abramovich to Mark Cuban, and more. I mean, maybe like
just like super involved, like Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones is a better analogy because Mark Cuban, I don't think people consider him as toxic, right? I'm not a big Mavs fan. Like you would.
I am a Mavs fan. Yeah. No, I don't think a lot of people don't like him, but he's not considered toxic. I think he does give his like coaches or managers pretty free reign, from what I've heard. But I mean, also they've had the same coach there for so long, So, but anyway, yeah, it's interesting. We'll see what happens over at Chelsea. They've kind of missed out on the coaching shuffle, which brings up the next. Arsenal landing Emery. Mm-hmm. So we've got this little coaching shuffle with. I don't know if PSG intentionally announced so early that Thomas Tuchel was taking over there. We've got Tuchel taking over the job at PSG, and then Emery vacating the PSG job and now taking over at Arsenal. Which I tell you what, man, Arsenal are true to their French roots. They're sticking with the French connection, if you will, pun intended. So we'll see what happens there. Pep Guardiola came out last couple of days and talked about how incredible, that he's a great coach, and he's like, yeah, another top coach, coming to England. Welcome to England. And how much do you know about Emery? What do you think's going to happen there?
I have mixed feelings, but you know what my mixed feelings come from is because everyone calls him like at PSG he's kind of been labeled this failure basically. But he won the league. They won a domestic treble. But it's all they care about now is the Champions League. That's what PSG is going for,
Yep. I
mean, so he coached Sevilla before PSG, and he led them to he won 3 consecutive Europa League finals, and that's who we lost to. 2 years ago, 3-1. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I don't know a lot about his managerial style. His first statement that he came out and said, he's like, I need to get in here and tell these players that I have belief in them and belief in this club. Because that definitely seems like something Arsenal's lacking, right? Like he's targeting that already. Like what kind of self-belief do they have? Like you see them go down in a game and they're just kind of done.
Yeah.
I'm interested. He's got coaching credentials for things he's done.
Yeah.
I don't know who else they would have hired. They were talking about Mikel Arteta, but he's never coached before.
Right.
Yeah. He works under Pep, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. So he played for Arsenal for a little while. He played for Everton for a long time.
It's funny when he was on Arsenal. He was like, how I am, how I'll pick out players I specifically don't like, and I'll make it very public that I don't like them. Like, and he was one of the guys. I was like, man, I freaking hate Mikel Arteta. He's got such a punchable face, so annoying. I don't think he's that good. He's so overrated, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, I was super against Mikel Arteta. And I still don't know anything about him other than I've watched a ridiculous amount of the Manchester City YouTube videos with him out there training with the guys. And apparently Pep loves him. I know he's been working with Raheem Sterling all year on his finishing, which has helped a little bit. Raheem had a ridiculously good year, which is scary considering how many opportunities he missed. But I know Arteta's been working with him. So, we'll see. I think Arteta is a possibility. I think that he would have been really like out-punching his weight class if they had appointed him.
It's a big jump.
And I think it's probably best for him that it didn't happen for his career, because I don't think he's ready, and I think the Arsenal fans would probably eat him alive because I don't think it's going to be an easy job. I think Emery's going to struggle, is what I'm trying to say. I do think Arsenal probably might get a little bit of a new coach, new manager bounce, but I don't see them making top 4 next year. I'm going to call that right now. Like I'm Next year is going to be City again competing for the title. If Liverpool can find some consistency, I could see them competing. Spurs are going to compete again, and of course, United are going to spend a ridiculous amount of money again this summer, and I think they're going to be right there again next year. So I don't think Arsenal make top four next year either.
No.
And so Arteta would have been set up for failure, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. I agree with that.
so
It's hard when you have a legacy manager like that. Look what Manchester United did after Ferguson.
right.
And Arsenal fans still don't quite get it. Maybe they do because they weren't in the Champions League this year, but after like 18 years of consecutive Champions League football, like
Yeah. Been spoiled. Been very spoiled. Changing subjects a little bit. Did you watch the FA Cup final? Did you get a chance to watch it or no?
yeah, and it's just funny to me. My biggest takeaway from that match. So Mourinho at the end of the match says, he's like, well, I don't know what to say when a team plays such defensive football, basically, and criticizes them for that. And at the end of the Europa League final last year, someone said the same thing to him, and he said, football's not about poetry. It's about winning and trophies. I was like, God. Like, at this point, I think he's in on it, and the joke's on us. Like, there's no way he believes that, right?
It's a conspiracy. It's all a setup. This is a script. He's the worst written villain of all time, and the joke's on us. Exactly. I mean, that's the only answer, because there's no way that anybody's taking this seriously. I mean, I love it though. Just the joy that I get to experience right now.
He's in the Premier League, though, right? His personality.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing.
My biggest thing about him, comparing him and Pep, there's been so many players under Mourinho that have regressed, like Lingard and Rashford. Like, they've actively regressed under him. And almost every player under Pep, players that Pep decided to keep, because some players work and some don't work in his system. The ones he kept, especially Raheem, like they all achieved new levels. There's not been any the regression and stuff, and I think that's one sign of a good manager.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and move on. I know you've got a little bit of a time crunch, so let's talk about this Champions League final a little bit more, and then I got a little bit of music I want to talk about, and then we'll let you get out of here, okay? So. I saw today that Emre Can and James Milner are both fit.
Yeah.
That is a huge boost for you guys.
I mean, talk about Luka Modric. What's he gonna do when he turns and James Milner's right there? Like, he doesn't know. Like, what is it with Milner? He defying aging, and he has these world-class Champions League games, and we're just kind of
workhorse, English bulldog, baby. I hope Emre Can is actually fit and can actually play, because that'll be a really big difference maker for you guys.
Man. We need some legs.
I'm rooting for y'all so hard, and I really shouldn't. I know a lot of City fans are not, but I think that's stupid, because if you're anything but a Real Madrid, if you're a Real Madrid fan, you can root for Real Madrid, obviously, in this. If you're not a Real Madrid fan, you should be rooting for Liverpool, purely because this storyline and the underdog story. And I mean, just what a beautiful moment for sports it would be to see this underdog come through. I'm trying to put all my salt aside and just be like, man, it would be really amazing.
So this post came up on my feed, and to circle back to the beginning of the underdog, the origin. So I think it was 2 years ago today, or maybe 3 years ago today, and someone posted a scoreboard, and it was 6-1 Stoke Liverpool, and I was just like,
wow,
ooh, man,
yeah,
how far?
Yeah, come a long way.
That was Roger stayed after that, but he got fired pretty early, and that's when we got Klopp, and things changed.
Yeah. So, have you been thinking about anything that you want to share with our listeners? Regarding your feelings leading up to the match, or just give me your thoughts. Everything you're thinking, I want to know.
So, it's so interesting, and I made this Instagram post this week. Everybody makes, it's like the joke, Liverpool's the history club, that's what
Yeah,
Like we've all
memes.
heard that.
Right.
And like there's no history anymore. The manager, the squad, like there's none of those remnants in the club right now. We've got new owners. Like this is a moment when you turn over and you add to history, but you create your own history. And that's been Klopp's mantra for these players. He's like, we're Liverpool, we're the club, but this is your game. This is your history to make. And I, I, I just can't believe it. Like I'm like beginning of the season. I'm like, man, if we make it to the knockout stage, I'll be so happy. And each stage has been more unbelievable than the next. Um, from the way you guys looked when we played you, and then when we came out and won that game, like Klopp is his mentality, and I'm going to kind of talk about like where we could go wrong in this match. Klopp's mentality is basically like fearless. Like, don't think about the opposition. You play your game. And I believed him after that match against you guys. Like, we have no reason to fear anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what happens when this is my concern. Like, we have 19-year-old Trent. When you get him out there on the field, and he picks his head up, and you got Ronaldo sprinting at you. Like, that's different in real life, Or you
Yeah.
flip the wing, you got Gareth Bale or whatever. Like, you can't respect the badge. You can't respect the jersey. In that sense, that occasion could get in your head. I've looked at everything. I've looked at the midfield. I've looked at the defense. Madrid's very strong attacking wise. They've got some holes in their defense, like as shown, against Bayern. But they've got an incredible goalkeeper. So I think the winner of this game, there's 6 players who are going to decide it, and I think it's going to be the front three of both teams. Front three of both teams. I think it's going to be Benzema, Ronaldo, and then maybe I think Bale will start. And then it's obviously our front three: Firmino, Salah, and Mane. And if the way we're going to play this game, for sure, like. So this is okay. So if we lose this game and we lose to Real Madrid and we lose playing Liverpool away, like I'm gonna be devastated, but it'll be okay. If we lose and we didn't play like the Liverpool way, like that would be there'd be some salt in the mouth. So I think Klopp will have them coming out. I think he'll have like guns blazing, absolutely blazing. Because I mean, like teams generally don't play like this in Spain, and there's not a lot of teams even in the Champions League competition that play like this. And Tony Kroos has kind of touched on this. He played for Bayern, and he played lots of Klopp teams, lots of Borussia Dortmund Klopp teams, and that's sort of what we become. And he said there's going to be 11 animals out there coming at us with 100%, and you got to be ready for that. And there's all these reporters and stuff like Del Bosque. He used to be the coach of the Spanish team that won like 2 Euros in the World Cup, and he's saying stuff like there's not a single player on Liverpool that would improve this team. Madrid will win 4-1. Like those kinds of things. And then there's another reporter saying stuff like never seen Real Madrid relax so much. But like I don't believe that. I think Zidane will have them up and ready. I don't think the chance of us catching them cold like we've done to a lot of teams, like I don't think that's quite there in this match. You know what I mean? Like I think Zidane will have them up. I think there's a lot of healthy respect for Liverpool. I've seen a lot of interviews with Ronaldo and other players.
Yeah. They're going to be up for it. Zidane's going. I can't add anything to what you're saying. I think you're nailing it. I totally agree.
And I think what you'll see Liverpool do, you will see them focus on Modric and Kroos, because
try to cut off the supply.
Yeah, and there's 2 things Madrid are gonna. You have to do something in the beginning when we're coming at you guns blazing. You either got to keep possession or you got to play defensively. And I think both of them are equally dangerous. I think the most dangerous thing, which I think Madrid are going to do because they're Madrid and they have quality players, I think they're going to try and keep possession. That's what I want them to do. Go ahead.
We tried to do the same thing. Yeah, and you're saying that's what you want them to do? Yeah, keep going.
Yeah. I think there's a spot in the midfield, and I've seen a few games, and I've looked back, and I've listened to Infield Rap, and they've talked about the same thing. There's a spot in the midfield where Modric and Kroos are like, maybe 10 yards out of the final third, where they'll turn, pick up the ball, and then they're looking. They're looking to feed one of those front 3, and that's the spot. If we can win, those are the balls we need to win. If we can win 4 or 5 of those, that will be a chance for us to convert in the beginning. But how prepared they'll be for that.
I think you guys have got to get ahead. I think you can't go behind. I I think if you guys go ahead at the beginning, because there's something this Liverpool team is really capable of and do really well is they can score goals in flurries. That's what you did against us. Every game against us, you had like a 10 or 15 minute stretch each of the times you beat us where you put in a bunch of goals real close together. And I think you're going to need to do that. I think you're going to need to get a 3-goal lead to beat Real Madrid. 2 is not going to be enough. I think it's going to need to be like 4-1 or 3-0 at some point in the game in order for you to win. If it's just 2-1 or 3-1, I think Real Madrid are going to come back. I honestly see at the end of this game, if Liverpool win this game, it's going to be you're going to have to get ahead, and then you're going to have to bunker down, and you're going to have to withstand them pounding you with attacking football for the last 15, 20 minutes of the game. I just don't see you guys scoring a late winner or something like that. I don't know. A late winner, honestly, probably is most likely going to come at the hands of one Cristiano Ronaldo. You know what I'm saying? That's my gut going into it. But I give you go ahead. What's your percentage chance that you think you guys have of winning? Percentage out of 100 chance.
We're going to win it 3-1.
You're going to win it 3-1. On a scale of 1 to 100, 0 to 100, how confident you're going to win it 3-1?
I'm ignoring the head. This is all heart. We're going to win the Champions League final.
I love it.
But I mean, the fact of the matter is, like last year, who was it? Real Madrid, Juventus?
Yeah.
We kind of knew Real Madrid was going to win, right?
I honestly, I wish we had the show at the time to have talked about it beforehand. I went into it thinking it was going to be a really good game, and I actually thought it was kind of 50-50, but Real Madrid were just so clinical. And I think that's what you got to be concerned about this year is 5 minutes in, you guys are pressing really high and blah, 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 and the next thing you know, Real Madrid hits you on some sort of counterattack, and, it's the first shot of the game, and Ronaldo puts it in. And then that's it. They just because that was what happened last year was Ronaldo put one away pretty early on. It was 1-0. Juve evened it up. And then Real Madrid and Ronaldo just did what they do and just took the game out of their hands, the rest of it. Yeah. So it's just so hard to beat them.
They're going to, here's the thing, I think we have the advantage in. I think we played better together as a team, as a unit. But Real Madrid are just oozing. No other team has the players that Real Madrid has. Not world class at every position. And maybe we get 3 players on their starting team out of our starting team. Maximum.
Maybe.
We find so many ways to win the match. But this Liverpool team, and you've said it, it's a flurry. This is what happened to Roma. They played very good for 20 minutes. 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, oh man, this is the team. But then all of a sudden, bam, 10 minutes and you're out of the game. And I don't know another team that actually plays like this at that level. And I think that's what we have. If we can turn it on in that moment, that's how we win this game. And I agree with you. It's going to take 3 goals.
Yeah.
I'm terrified. I feel sick. I want to vomit. I'm so excited. I can't believe it.
It's going to be huge. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm rooting for you guys. But I think you've got a.
What's your prediction? Don't give me a prediction. Give me a prediction.
Real Madrid's going to win. I'm sorry. they're gonna do it. My heart is rooting for Liverpool. My head says Real Madrid win it 4-2. 4-2 Real Madrid. That's what I'm saying.
And
I hope I'm wrong. I think you guys have a 10 to 15% chance of winning.
Man,
10 to 15.
I can't. I can't get on with that. They got outplayed against Bayern. I don't think this is the worst Madrid team of the 3 Champions League finals.
It's the oldest one, right? And other than the fact they've got a few young players, they've got Asensio kind of coming up right now and everything, but they're aging. Ramos, Ronaldo, injury-plagued Bale, Benzema, all these guys are really getting up there in years, and so I do think that that's contributing some. But in my opinion, this team is every bit as good. Maybe a slight drop-off of the team from last year, but, not by much. I think you're facing almost an identical team that beat Juventus last year. So,
Man, I think they're fortunate to be in the final. I think Bayern had like 22 shots versus their 9 over their matches, and I don't think this Madrid team has like. I watch them and I don't quite know the identity. I see a group of players kind of like soaking pressure, countering a little bit, but not countering like they used to.
yeah. I hope you're right. No, I really hope you're right. I really, really do. I really do. But we will see, man. Just a couple days away. I feel for you having finals. Oh, my gosh. I can't even imagine.
It doesn't make
I'd
sense.
be losing my mind.
Pretend it's not happening, basically.
Pretend finals aren't happening?
I have to pretend this match isn't happening.
No. Pretend finals aren't happening.
If I don't have my friends near me sick and tired of me talking about this, I'm not talking about it enough because I'm constantly thinking about it.
Right. Oh, man. Where are you going to watch the game at?
I'm going to meet up with a group of friends. We're going to watch it. We haven't found a bar yet, but something local. Not too far because we've got to get back to studying after, but
yeah.
We've got a large group of friends that we're going to go watch it with, yeah.
Cool. All right, man. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Please post it on Instagram so we can all see everything. I want to see how nervous you are. I want to see the pale white nausea in your face before the game starts.
Man. And no matter
I
got to tell myself this because I'll be devastated if we lose. But I mean, like, what a season!
Yeah.
Like, what a season! We've scored the most goals in the Champions League, and I think in the knockout round we've scored 5 goals against every team, and I think we've conceded 13, and Madrid has conceded 15. Wow. So we have a better defense. That's the thing, though. I'm also like Carvajal and Marcelo, like they're very of the attack mind. That's another weak spot. Like we've got to pull them out. We got to get Bobby in there to occupy those 2 center backs, and then when Madrid, if they're sitting back or attacking, I don't know what they're going to do. When those guys get out, we have to like occupy those spaces.
You got to be clinical. You can't waste chances.
Yeah, you can't. That's this game. This game will be won in moments for us.
Yeah, for either side, moments. For sure.
Keylor Navas is such a beast, though. Like he will bail you out.
You know, I've seen a lot of Real Madrid fans really hating on him. Like a lot.
He's not a superstar, man.
No.
They want Wolf Boy, you know?
Oh, De Gea, yeah.
I want De Gea too.
Well, who doesn't want De Gea? Well, I don't know. I don't know if City want De Gea because he can't distribute from the back. That's a whole different conversation. But, well, I know you need to go. Just my quick addition to Music Corner are 2 music documentaries that I watched that are on Netflix. One of them is called From Austin to Boston. Have you ever watched that one?
No,
you especially would love this. It's Ben Howard. It's Ben Lovett from Mumford & Sons decided he wanted to do a tour of America. So he called up Ben Howard and was like, "Hey, will you headline?"
God, are you
he's like, "Will you headline a tour across America?" And they did it in VW buses over like I don't remember how long, like 1 or 2 months. And they got it was all British people and then one dude from the U.S. And Ben Howard headlined. The second band was called the Staves, and it's this all-girl band that do these amazing harmonies from the UK. And they're amazing. Like I'm really big into them right now. Just an incredible documentary, and Ben Howard is just amazing, and he's all through it. This was before he got huge, so you really, really need to watch that. You would absolutely love it. So put that on your list. And then the second one was I watched again on Netflix music documentary, Avicii, and just what that guy went through. Like, I feel terrible about him committing suicide here recently, but when you watch this documentary, it's worth watching if you really want to understand what he went through. This guy was struggling with really severe anxiety and depression from the very beginning of his career, and all the way through him getting big, him blowing up, him having all the money in the world. Like, it literally it's a really insightful documentary with mostly just him talking is most of the documentary, and him just talking about how he would get so anxious and so stressed out that he would get a visceral body response and he would get sick. So, anyway, just crazy. Worth watching. All right, well, I'll let you get out of here. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Love you guys. Watch the Instagram. I'll be posting live reaction videos, and we will be back to talk about the victory and keys to the match. God, don't say something like that. It's an American comment. Keys to the match.
Go Liverpool. Beat Real Madrid. See you guys.